All right, welcome. Sebastian Cruz here, founder of the True Freedom Mastermind Group. And in this training, we're going to do a live walkthrough of a template for a VIP day structure. So with your consulting, with your coaching, how to structure a VIP day so that clients are happy and you can give your gifts to give them what they need. And I've got Clifford Starks here on the call, so we're going to walk through this in a very conversational tone. And Clifford is a former UFC fighter who now shares what he's learned in the cage with the spiritual warrior journey, helping entrepreneurs tap into their warrior energy. How are you doing
What's up,
today?
everyone? Doing great, doing great. How about yourself?
Good. Okay, so VIP day structure. I just had somebody put down a deposit for a 5K VIP day for myself. So what I'm sharing with you is what I've found to work. So I'm not saying I'm the expert or this is the only way to do it. I'm just sharing, this is what's been working for me, and I'm always refining, I'm always dialing things in. So it could be that I find things that work better. So this template, VIP day structure, the first thing is differentiating between information seekers and solution seekers. So you might ask yourself, who would want to spend money on a VIP day? Why would somebody spend money on a VIP day versus a course? Or why would a person spend any money if everything's free online? Well, there's a difference between information seekers and solution seekers. Nicholas Kusmich talks about this really nicely. And solution seekers value time above all else. They have a problem and they're happy to collapse the learning curve and solve that problem immediately. These people value time, and they know they can always make more money, but they can never get back that time. So that's where VIP days really are such a great fit, because if they have a problem that's costing them money in their business, if they have a problem that they could save money with certain things, then they don't want to go through a 6-week program or a 90-day program or a whatever thing. Just need the solution. So the first thing is to just realize that person who's going to buy VIP day is totally different than most of the market. And most of the market, especially online right now, is like this long funnel of doom, where it's like first you buy the $7 thing, and then the $17 thing, and then the 47, and then the 97, and then maybe if you're gearing up, 247. But wait, there's a book. First go buy the book and go through that first. And like that stuff can work, of course, but imagine to a solution seeker, they already checked out from that because they're like, I just need a solution to my problem. And if I need to go through 17 million steps that are going to cost me time, if I need to go through 17 million steps with this person, I'm just going to find somebody else. Okay. So I'll just pause right there. Does that make sense between the information seeker versus the solution seeker?
Absolutely.
Okay. So then that being said, what I've found to feel the most natural is then focus on the problem. Like when I think of terms of like, oh, I want to give value, or if you think about all the things that you could offer somebody, all the experience that you have, for me personally, I'll start, kind of get lost in the sauce of what you can offer. However, what collapses it for me and focuses it for me is problem. People pay to have their problem solved. Plain and simple, people pay to have their problem solved. So what's the problem? And that's what, in a conversation, when there's a potential here, that's what I'd be searching for. And that's what I do search for. It's like, okay, there's an urgent problem. So clearly defining that urgent problem that's costing them time, first and foremost, because again, it's the big thing for this type of buyer. Yes, money. Everybody's thinking about money too. And then energy. And ideally all three: time, money, and energy. Because if you can see, hey, I have this problem that's draining me of this, and if I have a magic wand and that problem goes away, boom, I get those things right away. That's pretty attractive. And a VIP day could be booked within the week. Boom, it goes away. very attractive. So in this conversation, and I'll just use the example that just came up with this lady, she has a list, she has a community, and really it's just the offer, the right type of offer to give a higher level of support, a premium offer. That's what it is. Just what's the premium offer that can be presented to this group that she's been nurturing for years and years, that they absolutely love what she does. They just haven't had an opportunity to have a premium program with her. And what's a premium program? Premium program is where they get that extra support. They get that extra group or one time or that different experience. It's not just like a group call with 100 people on it. It's more intimate. And so people, of course, will pay for that type of experience. It's just like, you know, the higher end schools have a student per teacher ratio. That means that there's just a few students per teacher, so they can give them all the attention. And then, of course, in the poorer schools, there's tons of students for one teacher. And it's easy for students to get lost between the cracks. So with a premium program, people will pay for that extra level of love from you. So in this case, her problem was, out of all the things that we could focus on, just, hey, it's got the list, got the goodwill, got the buyers. Let's just really dial in that premium offer and make sure that it's clear and the person she feels confident in presenting that. She doesn't feel wobbly. So to sum all this up right now, the problem is her business is missing out on the money from selling these premium programs. Her clients are missing out from the transformation from that premium program. And the big thing is, instead of having a long learning curve, going through a huge course and all these different things to put together that right offer, we can just go one-on-one in a day and it'll be done. Which then leads into the solution, which I was kind of, the problem is always, you know, linked to the solution. It's on the flip side. So problem in this case, not having the premium offer. Just put it right here for sake of the demonstration. Not having the premium offer. Solution is clearly defining the premium offer. And in this case, this person already has the skills of emailing her list, already has the skills of being on conversations and sales conversations. And could I help there? Sure, I'm sure I could. However, like, the clear problem skill-wise is this piece, this puzzle piece. So I'll just pause there. How's that making sense, when the focus being the problem, that everything else?
Yeah, makes sense.
And to go on a philosophical note here, this is what I believe we are as entrepreneurs. We are abundant creators. And I believe our religion is creating value. Like that's our way of life, is creating value. But like I said before, what does that even mean, creating value? To me, it's we solve problems. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Solve problems, we get paid for it. And we use our creativity to solve those problems. We use our experience to solve those problems. We use our skills to solve those problems. And that's the one thing that I always make sure to continue to share with purpose-driven entrepreneurs, especially, is it's easy for us to forget our skills because they become so natural. It's subconscious. And, you know, nobody knows that better than you know, with the martial arts. And I mean, the fighter is like, when you got that unconscious competence of the punch, the kick, the jiu-jitsu move, like, it just happens automatic.
Yeah.
And in business, it can be easy for us to forget those or not value those skills. But that's what people will pay for. So that's why it's important to have mastermind members to, I believe, to mirror that back to us of like, hey, don't sleep on that experience you've gone through. Don't sleep on that skill, because people need it and people pay for it. And then you can earn a living and help people while doing so.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions on that before we move on?
No.
Okay. So then the value, I always like to look at, problem, solution, value. So money made or money saved. And that's where I've had the best, the best results. Like I learned through training to the 40K mastermind, sales mastermind that I was in, was really developing skills of quantifying the value that it brings to, say, a person's relationship, their energy, their health, their family. And there are all these different things that solving this really does help, like ripple effects.
Mm-hmm.
And that being said, I just found it's just the smoothest, like, how can I just connect it to money made or money saved if I can? And so, with this problem solved, how much money can I make? In this scenario with this lady, it seems very reasonable that I forget the exact numbers we did, but like if she had a, 1,500 a month mastermind or 1,750, higher level premium program, that she could get like 30 of those people, based on all the goodwill and the list that she has. And so, we take a look at that, the amount of money that she make, and I don't want to be doing math off the top of my head, but what I remember in the conversation was like 45K a month, from having this offer in place. It's like, okay, that's pretty clear. It's pretty clear because every month that this isn't in place, that's potentially 45K a month, that's lost. Not to mention the people getting the transformation that are waiting for it, what could happen in their life, the referrals, on and on. So I like to always look at that, and everybody's in a career, whether they're an entrepreneur or not. Like everybody has to make a living. So that's where I tend to just find the best results is how can this thing directly impact your career, your money making, money saved? Then all the other benefits are just icing on the cake, makes you a better family member, husband, friend, whichever, just ice on the cake. And one other thing I'd say too is for the solution, you'll probably, as you do this, you'll probably get an idea of like certain, it's almost like puzzle pieces that you can install into that person's business. And so for you, like, and I think it's just to keep in mind, I don't know if I have any good examples on it, but, there might be like 3 or 4 kind of areas that tend to really lend itself well for VIP days. And I would just say you don't need to know it from the beginning, just keeping an eye out for it. Like, oh, people are kind of asking for this.
3 or 4 areas, it muted because someone was calling.
Okay, so I'd say in my case, doing this premium offer like really makes sense, provided that a person has all the other pieces. If they don't have an email list, if they don't have sales conversation experience, if they don't have goodwill, like, yes, we'll get this done, but it's not going to be the immediate turnaround. So getting an idea of like, what are those almost like puzzle pieces that you can install in a person's business, and just being mindful of it. You don't need to figure it out from the beginning, but because then you'll kind of know there's like a tool belt, these are the VIP days that you got in your belt. And so now we'll go ahead into an example schedule and, really do whatever works for this. I just say, just here's some structure to get you started. So half day and full day. So I'll start with a half day because a few weeks ago I also sold a half day for 2,500, and it followed pretty much this. Would go for 90 minutes, 90-ish minutes, especially online via Zoom. That's what I find in my 7 years of hosting, mastermind sessions, many of them, almost all of them online. 90 minutes tends to be that general cap time. Now, if you're in a really good flow, of course, you keep going. And that's the beauty of the VIP day. It's like they don't get a cookie cutter thing, like they get exactly what they need. So just, have that in mind. I find that breaks are essential. You might want to be like, oh, I want to deliver so much value and I just don't want to take any breaks. They're going to get more value by taking breaks.
Yep.
I see it time and time again because we need time to process. And again, this is your method, your thing. You know this like the back of your hand. This is new for people. So need time to digest. And it's taken me a long time to get comfortable with that, to realize that I was actually doing more harm than good by just like cramming information. They don't need more information. They need the transformation. I think it was Alex Moscow said that once upon a time. Yeah. And so transformation requires time. Let it bake, let it digest. Go for a walk. Sometimes I do that too. It's like take a break. What I do is I just put a timer on the screen. So then it just counts down. You can Google, 15-minute timer, put it on the screen, share it, turn your camera off, turn your voice off, and then boom, you're good. So that's an example of the full VIP or the half VIP day. And then with a full VIP day, it's, very similar. And just make sure you got some lunch or activity time. And yeah, this can be online or in person at your location. I definitely charge extra to fly out to the client because that's its own expense. Not to mention the extra time that's required. So yeah, and you have an idea of this, and everybody's got their own style. For me, I don't super plan these. I have like the bullet points of what we're going to cover. And then I'm really sensing continuously of like, where's the energy moving? Where do we need to flow so that we're in a rhythm? So I always have like a general outline, and I always let people know that we're going to follow the flow. And I'm going to keep us on time. I'm going to keep us in the guardrails.
Okay.
Any questions on the example schedule structure?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And then depending on what your day is too, you can do different activities here. That's why it's session or activity time. So like in my case, it's pretty like it's consulting, with the offer, the templates. Some people I know do VIP days where they go on different activities or adventures. I haven't done that personally, but I know people have. It's just a decision, like in your case, if they're tapping into warrior energy, with your guidance, hitting the mat could be awesome, I'm sure. Things like that. So
and so 2 questions. For the 90-minute lunch, do we pay for that? Do we have them pay for that? How do you work that out?
Yeah, short answer, it's up to you. And it could be like 75 minutes or 90 minutes. I go with like paying. So if we're in person, the lunch is on me. And when I've hired coaches to do VIP days before, had it, food ordered in, something like that. So it's really just your call.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the other question, because you said warrior energy, could I say inner warrior, or would warrior energy be more powerful and potent?
I think you can just test it out. Just see what feels best for you, and then have 5 conversations where you mention it.
Okay.
See what feels most natural, see what perks people up. And ideally, those 5 conversations are as close to your ideal client as possible.
Okay.
Then you'll. Okay. So here's some example of deliverables. Like these are, I'd say, like fancy stuff that you definitely don't need, I'd say, but I'm just putting them in there because I have them on my website right now. So I've sold VIP days without this at all. And so it's definitely not necessary. And I guess every VIP day I've sold, I didn't even bring this up. So take this with a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always very mindful of not putting more complexity in things, because also starting out, it can feel like, oh, I got to do all this thing and then I can sell the thing. It's not the case. So I just say this is like some extras if it feels right. Things that you can do before, pre-session, action plan. If you want to send them specific videos, like in my case, I have YouTube videos, so I'll select from the YouTube videos, 6 weeks of things that make sense. If there's any post-session items. And so it's totally up to you. You don't need these. However, it can be a nice thing to have. And,
Okay.
but the big thing is, again, problem. If the right problem is being solved and they can see how it's going to make the money or save the money, all that other stuff is just details. It's just like, just help me solve that problem and I'm good to go.
Okay.
Any final questions with this?
Not in the VIP specifically. Make money or save money. And also, because I know the problem is going to be time, energy. Would you say time, energy, and money?
Mm-hmm.
So does time and energy equate to the problem as well? Like if it's taking a lot of time to do something or a lot of energy to do something?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So in this example, yeah, because I feel like it's helps to have examples. So this one person didn't have the offer and it was costing her money, lost sales. And
Mm-hmm.
what would be and then the energy, since she was missing out on that cash flow, she wasn't able to, hire different support or different things. So that's like draining on the energy. And the time, again, draining on her time by not having the right support. And then how much time would it normally take to learn how to do that offer? And then if a person looks and say, okay, maybe there's a course on creating an offer or a program and all this stuff, it's like, wow, that's all taking a lot of time. And let's just say there's somebody else with a VIP day who does this. Well, then it really becomes your energy, your connection with them. And a person
Mm-hmm.
can be like, oh, well, let's just say for the example, the person has the exact same VIP day, but they're like, I resonate with you more. I want to do it with you more. And so that's really like the secret, I feel like, is hiding in plain sight in the coaching industry. Is like, it's a big fear of having things that are the same or like, a specific method. And that's all important. But also too, I feel like people do business who they want to do business with, if they have the choice.
Mm-hmm.
So the more we can make it clear, the more we can, be who we are, then they can choose who they want to work with.
Okay.
Okay. What would you say have been your top 2 insights from today?
One is keep it simple. Not make it complex. And 2 is be very, very specific to where they either make money or save money.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Okay, so that'll wrap up this VIP Day structured template. I'm going to put this Google Doc link in the video description below, and see you next time.
Awesome.